welcome to Saran Pharma YouTube channel. So today we are going to see about the MRB Pharmacist syllabus breakdown. So in this syllabus breakdown, the first topic is the pharmaceutics. The most important priority which is given to the history of pharmacy profession in India. So it includes pharmacy education regulations and Drug and Cosmetics Act, and also it can add and point to the IP, BP, USP and National Formulary and extra pharmacopoeia. So can you guess the extra pharmacopoeia? Yeah, it's right. Martindale is one of the extra pharmacopoeia. It has several editions. So recently we came to know that IP is 2026 published in January 1. So it plays a major role in the MRB Pharmacist 2026 exams. So you should know updated versions of the IP, BP, USP and National Formulary. And also you have to make sure the silent features of the Indian pharmacopoeia. So moving on to the next topic, pharmaceutical packaging material. So in this topic, we have the types of packaging materials. For example, we have the glasses as a packaging material. There are four types, type 1, type 2, type 3, type 4, like borosilicate, அதுக்கப்புறம் வந்து next வந்து type 2, type 2, type 3 and type 4. Type 4 is the general use glass materials, and how to select this packaging material according to our drug products. So this plays a crucial role in our MRB Pharmacist exams, and also that advantages and disadvantages we have to cover overview only. Type of packaging materials such as glass, plastic material, metal, rubber and others. The third topic is the pharmaceutical aids. So these pharmaceutical aids, remember these pharmaceutical aids, the majority of the questions asked from this, such as organoleptic properties, color, flavor and sweetening agents. So name one of the artificial sweetener used in the tablet formulation. Yeah, aspartame, it has the different concentrations and which one is the carcinogenic, and how much sweetening agents compared to the sucrose. So you have to focus this area much more topic. And then preservatives. So one of the most important topic of the MRB pharmacist exam is preservative. Each and every formulation such as oil, such as emulsion, tablet, capsules, and then IV fluids, IV injections, there are certain amount of preservatives to, added to the formulations. So it preserves the formulation for the entire shelf life of the formulations. So how much percentage the preservatives used? Some of the preservatives, example they may ask, and then how much concentration it is used in the particular formulation, like that they will ask. So this preservative we have to read along with the concentration, how much concentration is used. Moving on to the next, unit operation. This unit operations comes under the pharmaceutical engineering. So this unit operation, there are several principles for the each and every unit operations. Like ball mill have the attrition and impact, and then cyclone separators have the separation based on the fluidization. So this plays an important role. Principle, uses, and which type of material they are used for the size reduction or separations. For example, in size reductions, they have hammer mill and ball mill. Especially they given two mills only. So you have to focus on these two mills only. And size separations, classification of powder according to the IP. There are several classification of powders according to the IP. You have to focus each and every one at recent update also. Cyclone separators, CU standards, ASTM, like that. CU standards is that CU number 12, CU number 48, CU number 72, like so on. And then mixing is double cone blender, you have to focus, and turbine mixture, triple roller mill, and Silverson homogenizer. This Silverson homogenizer is particularly used for the preparation of emulsion. So you have to prepare in every aspect of the questions and the syllabus. It may help you to get score high marks. And moving on to the filtrations, we have to focus on the theory of filtration. Membrane filter, can you guess the pore size of membrane filter? Yeah, 0.22 micrometer, used for the bacterial separations. And sintered glass filters. And in pharmaceutical engineering, the another important topic is the drying. So working of fluidized bed dryer and the process of freeze drying. So lyophilization, how much degree is used? You can guess. Yeah, right one. Extraction, definitions, and classification, methods and application. And moving on to the formulation studies, this tablet. In most of the exams like GPAT, NIPER, and MRB, TNPC drug inspectors, or RRB, so this plays an important role. Tablet. So there are different types of tablet, coated tablet, uncoated tablet, dispersible tablet, and then gastric retention tablet, and then entry coated tablet. There are several types. You have to focus on each and every type. So how it working principles, what are the excipients used for that, and what is the sustained release, which order it follows. Sustained release means which order it release. Yeah, zero order. For extended release, it should follow the zero order. Fast dissolving tablet, what is the disintegration time or for the fast dissolving tablet? It is less than 30 seconds. So you have to focus each and every corner of the tablet. It plays a vital role in the MRB pharmacist exams. And multi-layered tablet, what are the tablet defects, and then tablet preparation method, what are the excipients used. All this area you have to focus in the tablet section. And moving on to the capsule section, there are hard and soft gelatin capsules, and then different sizes of the capsules. What are the gelatin ratios used in the capsules? Which methods are the capsules are prepared? Like that, you have to focus. Liquid. The next topic is liquid oral preparation. In liquid oral preparation, there are several topics such as solution, syrup. How much of sugar added to the syrup? 66.67% of sucrose is present in the syrup. It is used as a self-preservative. So remember, you have to note that basic level questions are most important in MRB pharmacist exam rather than you are preferring for the GPAT exam. It has these GPAT questions have the detailed information, but in MRB pharmacist you have to know the basic surface level questions so that you can get high scores in the exam. And elixirs, emulsion types, oil in water, water in oil, or triple emulsion, oil, water, oil, or water, oil, water. These are the different classification of emulsion. And then suspension, flocculated and deflocculated suspension, and dry powder for reconstitution. In which method dry powder constitution is used, like that. And moving on to the topical preparations, it ointments, cream, pastes, gels, liniment, and lotions. Which method liniment is applied to the skin, either friction or without friction, like that for lotions. Suppositories, different sizes, and what are the types of suppositories, and pessaries also, for which conditions pessaries are used. Like that, you have to focus on each and every topic. Moving on to that next one, the nasal preparations. Nasal preparation and eye preparations. Different types of marketed nasal preparation and eye preparations are the high yielding topics in the MRB pharmacist. They may ask which drug is used for the nasal preparations and ear preparations. Then powders and granules. So in this topic we have different categories like insulfation, dusting powder, effervescent powder, and effervescent granules. They may also ask the flow properties of the powders and granules, Osner ratio, cost index, and then uh, they might ask cost ratio, Osner index, like that also they might ask. Moving on to the next one, sterile formulation. So this sterile formulation should be prepared in the aseptic conditions. So it is directly injected into the IV. Okay, it produces 100% bioavailability. So each and every aspect of the preparations and the formulation, what are the ingredients used, excipients, preservatives, and the coloring agent, all that plays an important role. So this sterile preparation further divided into injectables, eye drops, eye ointment. What is the concentration of preservatives used in the eye drops? How much tear is produced during allergy conditions, like that, surface level question. But we can while reading we are reading only deep into the topic, but basic knowledge of the eye drops and eye ointment injectables should know. This plays an important role. Then next, immunological products like serum, vaccine, types of vaccines, that is killed vaccine or live vaccine, toxoids, and then manufacturing methods. So toxide recent vaccination like that polio, pulse polio system when it is introduced, like that questions also may I ask. And then basic structure and layout of section, activities of the pharmaceutical manufacturing plants, quality control and the assurance. In this topic we have to know what is the size area, what are the SOP we have to follow for this preparation of this formulations. So it includes definition, concept and quality control, quality assurance, CGMP, which schedule is detailed with deals with the CGMP. You may read in pharmaceutical jurisprudence, recall it. And then introduction to the concept and calibration and validations. So novel drug delivery system, it also includes the introduction, classification and advantages and the challenges. In novel drug delivery system, there are different types: sustained release, and then sustained release, and then extended release, gastroretentive, and then vaccines and seras, like that. Several classification you have to superficial in the novel drug delivery system. The second most high yielding topic is, and the difficult topic is, the pharmaceutical chemistry. This one, each of the aspirants may lack in this subject, but if we read along with the pharmacology, we can get high score in the MRB Pharmacist exams. In that, the introduction to the pharmaceutical chemistry, scope and objectives. Mostly this can be avoided in the pharmaceutical preparations. So you no need to worry to prepare for the introduction to pharmaceutical chemistry. And sources and types of error, accuracy, precision, significant figures. Remember the significant figures, at least one of the question is asked in this section. Sources and types of error, it may comes under the pharmaceutical analysis first semester. You have to focus and practice the significant figures in examples, real examples, so that you can get easily recall at the exams. Without practice, you cannot cover this pharmaceutical chemistry. You cannot get the full mark. And moving on to the next one, impurities in pharmaceuticals. Impurities on the pharmaceutical, the source and then effect of impurities in pharmacopoeial standards, and the importance of limit tests such as chloride limit test, and then arsenic, and then heavy metals, and then sulfate, and then ion. What is the type of reagents used for the limit test? Like that, they may ask the question. It may be easier to the everyone. And then principle and procedure for the limit test for the chloride, sulfate, ion, heavy metal, and then arsenic. Then the high yielding topic of the pharmaceutical chemistry is volumetric analysis, fundamentals of the volumetric analysis, and acid-base titrations, non-aqueous titration, precipitation titration, and complexometric titration and redox titrations. In this section, we have to focus the what are the indicators such as internal indicators or the external indicators or the self indicators. So the graph mode which shifted log p values, like that we have to focus in the acid base titration, aqueous titration, and precipitation titration. And then gravimetric analysis, the principle and method. Generally, we have to read the gravimetric analysis at the surface level. So in chemistry, there are subsection is known as the inorganic pharmaceuticals. In inorganic pharmaceuticals, there are several categories like that: pharmaceutical formulation, marketed preparation, storage condition, and then uses, such as hematinics. In hematinics, we have to focus on the particular types of drugs: ferrous sulfate, ferrous fumarate, ferric ammonium citrate, and ferrous ascorbate, and then carbonate. For this, we have to read the uses and then description. What is the mechanism of actions? We have to focus on that. This for the hematinins topic. And gastrointestinal agents such as antacid aluminum, that is aluminum hydroxide gel, and magnesium hydroxide also used as a antacids, and magaltrate, sodium bicarbonate. In this section, we have to read the chemical structure name, and then chemical formula, and then marketed products for a name, branded names, and also another names. So each and every this drugs have the another name. So synonym name, we have to focus on that also, because at least two of the questions comes from the synonyms. So you have to put a tabular column right with the handwritten notes, recall daily as a early morning, so that you can easily catch up in the exam. The next topic is the topical agent: silver nitrate, ion silver, chlorhexidine gluconate, hydrogen peroxide, boric acid. Can you guess the molecular formula of boric acid? Yeah, H3BO4. And bleaching powder and potassium permanganate. This potassium permanganate is used as a self-indicator in titration methods. And the dental products: calcium carbonate, sodium fluoride, and dental cleaners, dental adhesive, mouthwashes. In dental, most of the toothpastes we having the fluoride contents. It also remove the yellow stain in the teeth. Name that name that one drug that causes the yellow staining of the teeth. Yeah, tetracycline. Tetracycline is not given to the patients along with the milk because it forms the complexation agent and forms a dental decay. And that medicinal gases such as carbon dioxide, nitrous oxide, and oxygen, in which cylinder color, and then how much gases is given to the patients, like that questions may be asked in the topic. And moving on to the next topic, introduction to the nomenclature of the organic pharmaceutical system with response to the heterocyclic containing up to 3 rings only. So you have to focus on the up to 3 rings only. Heterocyclic means it may contain other than the carbon, hydrogen, oxygen such as uh, sulfur, nitrogen, and so on, zinc, like that. Heterogeneous atoms it may present in that up to 3 rings only. And in B.Pharm syllabus and D.Pharm syllabus, they you may see come across with the compound with asterisks. For that, we have to know the starting material, intermediate, and the final product. What is the IUPAC name? For this may play important role because each of the compound we have prepared in the pharmaceutical laboratory has some of the starting material. We have to focus on that topic. So, and then use the stability and storage conditions, temperature, temperature, tropical storage condition, accelerated stability studies, like that. And drug acting on the central nervous system. So these drugs we are while reading these drugs, we have to correlate with the pharmacology. It may use for the easy preparations and then effective learning. Drug acting on the central nervous system, thiopental sodium, it is the ultra short acting anesthetics, and ketamine is dissociative anesthetics, and propofol, sedative and hypnotic diazepam, alprazolam, nitrazepam, and phenobarbital. Can you guess the phenobarbital which acting drug? Yeah, it is long acting drug, sedative and hypnotics. And antipsychotic chlorpromazine, hydrochloride, haloperidol, risperidone, sulfuride, olanzapine, quetiapine, lurasidone. So remember these asterisk mentioned compounds we have to prepare for the starting material, intermediate, what are the reagents used, like that. We have to focus on that. You have to prepare that, take notes each and every one. We not to study the entire chemical reaction, just what is the starting material, what is the end product, what is the intermediate, what is the ring contained in that compound, and what is the chemical used, what is the type of reaction that takes place. And moving on to the next topic, anticonvulsant, phenytoin, carbamazepine, and then clonazepam, valproic acid, and gabapentin, and topiramate, vigabatrin, lamotrigine, like that. Antidepressants, drug acting on the autonomic systems, sympathomimetic drug taxes, epinephrine, phenylephrine, dopamine, and also adrenergic antagonists such as alpha adrenergic blocker, tolozoline, phenethylamine, and phenoxybenzamine, prozosine, and alpha blockers. In that adrenergic antagonist, there is alpha blockers and then beta blockers. You have to remember which receptor these drugs are blocking. It's just enough for the exams. And then cholinergic drug related drugs means that is directly acting and indirectly acting. So indirectly acting acetylcholine, carbachol, pilocarpine, and cholinesterase inhibitor, neostigmine, hydrophonium, tacrine hydrochloride. Can you guess which one of the following agents used for the Alzheimer's disease? Tacrine. Tacrine contains the acridine ring, which is used for the Alzheimer's disease. Remember, this basic ring also plays an important role in the exam preparations. And cholinergic blocking agents such as atropine sulfate, ipratropium bromide. Synthetic cholinergic drug, tropicamide, cyclopentolate hydrochloride, and clinidium bromide, dicyclamine hydrochloride, and this cardiovascular system. This cardiovascular system, there are several drugs such as verapamil, phenytoin, sodium, lidocaine. It is used as a such anesthetics and then centrally cardiovascular system drugs also. And moving on to the hypertensive drug, propranolol, captopril, and then chlorine hydrochloride. This chlorine act as a alpha 2 receptor agonist, but it suppresses the action of the acetylcholine. And then anti-anginal isosorbate dinitrate only they are given. So this area, this drugs only we have to focus. And then diuretic, long-acting loop diuretic and thiazide diuretic, such as several classification. We have to focus which drug falls under which classification and what is the uses, what is the marketed product name. Then hypoglycemic agent, insulin and its preparation, long-acting insulin, short-acting insulin, insulin garglin, lente, and then insulin lispro, like that insulin there are in. You have to focus on the insulin types, type A chain, B chain, how many amino acids that it contains, and then analgesic and anti-inflammatory agents such as morphine, narcotic antagonist like NSAID. So this NSAID aspirin, aspirin causes the ulcerations. So we have to focus on the side effects and the adverse effect also. This of the NSAIDs and diclofenac, ibuprofen, piroxicam, celecoxib. It is a selective COX inhibitors and mechanism of action and then starting material, intermediate, what kind of ring it present, how much dose it is given. Like that we have to focus on the NSAID. That anti-infective agents, antifungals, and urinary tract infections, anti-tubercular agents. Currently, what are the multi-drug regimen for the anti-tubercular agents? Like that they may ask. And then antiviral agents. It may the you have to read all this as a important, because in antiviral we have focus on the each and every topic: foscarnet, zidovudine, ribavirin, and then remdesivir, favipiravir, and which one of the which drug is used in COVID-19, like that also they may ask. So we have to update it on each and every drugs. And in anti-malarial quinine and chloroquine and mefloquine, cycloguanil and pyrithamine and atrimicin. And then moving on to the sulfonamide. Sulfonamides causes the Steven Johnson syndrome and adverse effects and side effects, all that. Clotrimazole and the antibiotics and their classification and mechanism of action, like a cell wall inhibitor, and then uh, DNA gyrase inhibitor. Like that, we have to focus on the mechanism of action and then preparations also. In antibiotic, tetracycline miscellaneous, and then anti-neoplastic, cyclophosphamide, basfam, mercator, 5-fluorouracils. What is the another name of 5-fluorouracils? What is the active metabolite of 5-fluorouracils? Like that, may several questions asked. You have to prepare and ready for that every aspect of the MRB pharmacist exams. This next high yielding topic is the pharmacognosy. In pharmacognosy, we have several drugs, crude drugs. We have to focus on the structure and then what is the synonym, which part of either root or bark or leaves or flowers or anther. Like that, we have to focus on each and every topic. And then chemical test plays an important role in the pharmacognosy, which color it produces, whether which type of glycoside, alkaloids, or tannins, volatile oil. Like that, we have to focus on each and evaluation of fluid drugs, distribution, isolation, identification test, therapeutic activity. This section we have to focus on this upcoming crude drugs, such as pharmacological, chemical, and chemotaxonomical classification. Then different method for the adulteration of crude drugs, evaluation of crude drugs. Briefly outline the occurrence and distribution, isolation, in which method, distillations or macration, like that several isolation methods. We have to focus on each, the given drugs. We have to study the isolation method, identification test and therapeutic activity and pharmaceutical applications for the alkaloids, then laxative, carminative and GI regulator, coriander, fennel and cardamom, and antihypertensive, anti-rheumatics and anti-tumor drug, food drug, vinca, podophyllum. There are selective fruit drugs only given. So we have to focus on particular drugs, and we have to read the what kind of isolation method, which test method, detection method we are using. Like that, we are preparing. We have to focus basic principle in any system, and this plays an important role because we just focus on the drugs only. But most of us skip this question: Ayurvedic formulation, the Arista, Asava, Putika, Thaila, and then herbal cosmetics also we have to focus on. And phytochemical investigation, we have to read for the all these given drugs. Then we have to read human anatomy and physiology because in pharmacology we have to answer means we have to study the human anatomy and physiology. It consists of structure of cell, osseous system, that is bone, that hemopoietic system, lymphatic system, cardiovascular system, and then respiratory system, and then digestive system, nervous system. In nervous system, the function of hypothalamus, medulla oblongata, spinal cord, and the name and function of the cranial nerves. There are some cranial nerves along with their functions: olfactory, optic, trigeminal, vagus. Like that, we have to function. Either it is the certain functions it may contain. We have to read that function also. Then sense organs. In sense organs, we have to read all the informations: eye, ear, nose, skin, and tongue. What is the pH of lacrimal fluid? Like that also we have to focus on urinary system, reproductive system, endocrine system. So we have to in basic knowledge as a pharma student, we have to know this basic knowledge about the human anatomy and physiology. And next topic is the social pharmacy. In social pharmacy, there are several schemes in the social pharmacy. We have to focus on that. This pharmacy also preventive healthcare and role of pharmacists in demographic, family planning, mother and child health. This we have to, if you want to read social pharmacy, you have to go for the Tamil Nadu website. So we have recent updates on the this social pharmacy, like several scheme, mother and child health, and importance of breastfeeding, and environmental effect on health. Like that, several information we collect in the Tamil Nadu website itself. You go through that, most of the questions asked from that section only. And micronutrients for the health development. Epidemiology, introduction to the epidemiology and applications. And causative agents for the disease. And role of pharmacists in educating the public for the prevention of the communicable disease such as respiratory infection, like the avian flu, H1N1, SARS, MERS, COVID-19. Like that, we have to focus each and every section superficial level only. So this may feel difficult, and to you have to collect notes for this, which you can discuss along with your friends to solve this type of syllabus. And then pharmacoeconomics, we have to read the basic terminology and importance of the pharmacoeconomics. Next, the high link topic of MRB pharmacist is the pharmacology. This pharmacology, already I said in pharmaceutical chemistry, we have to correlate with this pharmaceutical chemistry while reading pharmacology, such as bioavailability, and then receptor, which is involved mechanism of actions, and what are the side effects, adverse effect, what are the antidotes for the particular drugs. We have to focus on all these dose indication and contraindications. Like that, we have to focus on the each and every drug given in the syllabus. There are limited drugs only given in that MRB Pharmacist exam. You can refer diploma syllabus or the B.Pharm syllabus notes. You can get clear idea. So each and every classification of drugs plays an important role because this plays vital role because we are going to dispense the medications. We have to know what kind of drugs we have to give the patient, what are the side effects may be interacted with. We can suggest doctors. This may cause interacted with the patients already taken drugs. Like that, we have to recommend. So we have to focus this area. Okay. And chemotherapeutic agents such as penicillin, cephalosporin, mechanisms and interactions. What are the side effects? Which vancomycin cause which syndrome? Yeah, Redman syndrome, because it may release the high amount of histamine. So it leads to the histamine allergy, and that area we have seen the red color coloration in that layer. So vancomycin is the Redman syndrome. Next is the community pharmacy and the management. This is the actual we have to know, because we have to read the prescription SOP, and then ancillary we have to labeling of the dispensary medication. We have to this area we have to focus, because we are working in the dispensing pharmacist only. So there are several criteria we have to learn: how to communicate, verbal communications, written communications, and then patient interview techniques. We should learn this basic knowledge. We have to know, we have to, because we are working as a dispensing pharmacist in the government hospitals. Like patient interview techniques, which method, how to interact with them, how to collect informations, like that we have to know. Stages of patient counseling, barrier to effective counseling, patient information leaflet, and medication adherence. What are the factors influencing for the non-adherence? And health screening services in the community pharmacies. What are the health screening services undergoing, referral for the undiagnosed cases, early detection methods, like that we have to focus. And OTC medications. This plays an important role. OTC medications. What are the type of OTC medication available in the market? What is the current trend? Self-medication and the role of pharmacists in promoting the safe practice during self-medication. Minor elements and advice for the self-care in conditions such as pain management, cough, cold, diarrhea, constipation, vomiting, fever, sore throat, skin disorder, and oral health. So for this, you have to read the drugs available in the market as a OTC medications. For example, in pain management, we can give diclofenac. For cough, we can give dextromethorphan. Cold, we can give cetirizine. In diarrhea, we can give loperamide. Vomiting, we can give serotonin, ondansetron, like that. You have to know what are the OTC drug available for these conditions only. Most of the questions asked within this region only. So you have to focus on community pharmacy management. What are the duties we have to do in the community pharmacy management, such as pharmacy design and interior, vendor selection and ordering, procurement, inventory control plays an important role while you are working in dispensing pharmacies, such as ABC, BED, and then FSN, like that. There are several methods for the inventory control method. We have to know basic knowledge on that, and financial planning and management accounts, and day book, hash book, and also we have to learn customer relation management. Then biochemistry and clinical pathology. In biochemistry and clinical pathology, we have to know certain values. What is the pH of blood, pH of tears, and then amount of bile secreted in body. Like that, we have to study. This is the basic level carbohydrate types, and then what are the structures of carbohydrate, either ribose or exos. Like that, ring structure may ask, and then protein types of protein, and then solubility and classification of amino acids, different types of amino acids such as alanine, lysine. There are several types. We have to read each and every type, and there are short symbol for that. For example, alanine, they give the letter A. We have to focus on that also. And then lipids, we have to focus on the structure and properties of the triglycerides, fatty acid classification based on the chemical and nutritional requirements. Then nucleic acid, we have to read the structure of DNA. The next topic is the enzymes, definition and properties, IUP and MP classification, such as esterase, salivary amylase, protease. There are different enzymes and they have classifications and factors affecting the enzyme activity, mechanisms, therapeutic and pharmaceutical importance of the enzymes. And the high yielding topic is the vitamins. Vitamins, there are different types of vitamin: fat soluble vitamin, and then lipid soluble, water soluble vitamin. Name the water soluble vitamins. There is a short mnemonic: WBC. W means water soluble for the vitamin B and C. All the vitamin B and C are the water soluble. Fat soluble vitamins: ADEK, vitamin A, D, E, K. Which vitamin is responsible for the clotting factor? Vitamin K. So remember all these chemical structure, functions, and then drink structure present in each and every vitamins, and dietary requirements, deficiency of the vitamin causes, like that we have to focus. And metabolism. Metabolism is the different cycle you can read in the biochemistry: TCA, glycolysis, and then lipolysis, beta oxidation of fatty acid, and this is related to that. Some of the enzymes responsible for this metabolism reaction. So deficiency of the enzyme may cause improper metabolism or deficient metabolism. So with that deficient metabolism, they may cause some of the disease. So we have to focus on that disease also, like ketoacidosis, fatty liver, hypercholesteremia, and metabolism of amino acids. Also, we have to focus urea cycle decarboxylation and biological oxidation. How many electron transported, how many ATP are produced, oxidative phosphorylation. We have to focus on these cycles, biochemistry cycle. What are the mentioned cycle we have to read? Unless others, we don't need to read. First, we have to have the first you have to memorize the syllabus. What is the syllabus? We have with the basic syllabus we can attend the 5 to 6 questions. And then mineral, water and electrolytes, what is the composition of ORS, how much grams it contains, 245, like that. And then introduction to the biotechnology, organ function test such as liver function test, kidney function test. We have to focus which enzyme is responsible for the test. uh, Presence of this enzyme gives the positive result, presence of absence of that enzyme may give the negative results. And then limit, we have to focus on that also. Pathology of blood and urine, we have to read that values in the pathology of the blood and urine volume, blood volume, blood pH, and how much of blood present in the human body, like that. And then is the pharmacotherapeutics. In pharmacotherapeutics, we have to study about the evidence-based medicines and essential medicine list. How many currently I came to know the essential medicine list is updated. Some of the medicines are removed from the essential medicine list, so we have to focus on that also. In definition, etiopathogenesis and clinical manifestation in that cardiovascular system, respiratory system, endocrine system. While reading your human anatomy and physiology, it may see easier only. Hematological disorder, infectious disease such as gonorrhea and syphilis, musculoskeletal disorders such as rheumatoid arthritis. Gold standard for the rheumatoid arthritis. Which of the drug? Guess the answer. And dermatologist and psychotic disorders such as depression and anxiety and psychosis. Ophthalmic disease such as conjunctivitis, glaucoma, and antimicrobial resistance and women health. Then next topic is the hospital and clinical pharmacy. We have to focus this as a superficial level, because this is a huge portions. We cannot read each and every topic in the hospital and clinical pharmacy. You just know the concept of the hospital and clinical pharmacy, such as different committees in the hospitals, PTC committee, how many members, how many times the meeting will be conducted, what are the reviews that taken, and then supply chain inventory control. As we said, ABC analysis, VD analysis, like that. Emergency drug schedule H1 drugs means prescription drugs. This you are going to read in the pharmaceutical jurisprudence, national drug pricing control system, NDPS, and then lenda, EOQ, RQL, inventory turnover. This inventory turnover we are already seen in the previous syllabus. It may useful, it may be easier to read again. The drug distribution methods, floor stock method, and then unit dosage distribution method. There are different process used in the each and every hospital based on their convenience. So there are floor stock method and unit dosage distribution method. There are different methods. We have to focus what the syllabus is given. And compounding in hospital, radiopharmaceuticals, storage, dispensing, and disposal of the radiopharmaceuticals. Applications of computers in pharmacy. It may be a easier level only. Don't worry. This in this area they ask the generalized questions only. Daily activities of the clinical pharmacist and pharmaceutical care, medication therapy management, home medication review, and clinical test using the evolution of the states. And then poisoning. This has the high yielding topics in the MRB pharmacist, because each and every drug causes some of the therapeutic action and some of the drugs cause the toxic level doses. So to overcome that, we have to use the antidote. For which of the drugs use antidotes, like that? For example, digital toxicity, we can use digibind. So like that, we have to memorize all the drugs and the antidotes. And drug and poison information centers and then services. Name the toll-free number for the drugs and poison information centers. Like that, they may ask the question. And drug interaction also plays an important role in the MRB Pharmacist Exam, definition and types, and clinical significance and drug interaction. And the last topic is the pharmaceutical law and ethics. This is the important one for GPAT, NIPER, UPSC drug inspector, TNPC drug inspector, RRB. Like that, this plays a crucial role because without knowing these ethics, we cannot compound medication to the patients. So we have to know the basic ethics of the pharmacy law and the ethics. That like Pharmacy Act 1948. Today I came to know that Pharmacy Council of India is renamed as the National Pharmacy Council. There is a bill going to pass in the parliament. So we have to update on each and every laws and act. Pharmacy Practice Regulation 2015, and then import of drugs. What is the license for the import of drugs? How much quantity we have to? What is the application form number? What is the license issue number? Like that, we have to focus. And then manufacture of drugs, like grant of license, loan license, repacking license, and study the schedule C, C1G, H1K, P, M and X. This they clearly given this schedule as the important. So if you have to focus this area, we have to focus on that much focus. Sale of drugs, wholesale and retail sale restricted license, and administration of the act and rules, drug technical advisory board, how many members, how many elected person, how many nominated person, like that we have to focus on that. We have to continuously practice on the MCQ. With just reading, it may be useful in that particular time only. By complete daily practice only, we can recall it. Oh, like this is the answer for that questions. Like that we can remember. And the Narcotic Drug and Psychotropic Substances Act, which year, for example, like they may ask, which year the Narcotic Drugs and Psychotropic Act came into force? The answer is 1985. And Drug and Magic Remedies Act 1954. What are the exempted advertisement? Who can give the advertisement for the drugs? Like that, there is in forensic pharmacy book, there are detailed explanation about the Drug and Magic Remedies Act and prevention to the cruelty to animal 1960. While conducting clinical trial, we have to ensure that animal is safe used in the clinical trial also. Preclinical trials. Which schedule is used for the clinical trial? Schedule Y. Yeah. And Poisonous Act 1919. What are the antidotes for the poison as we read in the pharmacology? So we have to correlate each and every sections of the syllabus. And FS is when it act, what are the rules? The amendment. National Pharmaceutical Pricing Authority, which year they amendment this act 2030. What is the sale of bulk price, retail price formulation? There are some formulas for the fixing of the price of the pharmaceutical products. For retail price means it may have some of the formula, and for bulk wholesale it has the some formulas. And then Code of Pharmaceutical Ethics, definition, ethical principles, and registration with respect to job, trade, and medical professions. Medical termination of the Pregnancy Act, the rules. In last year, in this, how many doctors are needed for the second? For example, the patient has crossed the 6 months. So, how many doctors required for the termination of the Medical Termination Pregnancy Act? Like the questions they act. And then CDSUO, IPC, Indian Pharmacopoeial Commission, and regulatory GRP practices, and ANDA means it is the generic product we can apply for the ANDA applications, and then NDA for the new drug applications for the innovative drugs, new drug development, clinical trials 2019. What is the difference between branded and generic, and patent law and IPR, and then blood bank. What is the collection method? What are the criteria for the blood bank establishment? Like that, we have to focus management rules 2016 and basic concepts of the bioethics. A brief overview ICM and national ethical guidelines for the biomedical and health research involving the human participants. And the last topic is the introduction to the Customer Protection Act. In that, we have to focus on the Disaster Management Act, medical devices categorization, category high risk, low risk, moderate risk. Like that, there are different classification of the medical devices. We have to read just superficial level only these medical devices. So the complete breakdown of the syllabus we have seen here. So we have to focus each and every topic in section wise, so that we can complete the syllabus in shorter duration, and we practice daily daily basis also. Without practice, we cannot achieve that MRB pharmacist exams. So remember, we have to read and we have to revise. This is the most important principle while we are preparing for the competitive exam. We have to read once. There is some formula 147. In first day we have to read, and fourth day we have to revise, and again seventh day we have to revise. In that manner only we have to reach the goal. And practice make the a man perfect. Like that, we have to continuous effort we need to put. Unless otherwise, just like reading, it may won't help you out in getting high score. So focus on every topic. Don't skip anything, because there are several people applying for these exams. So wise, make it wiser. Start preparation from today onwards. All the best for your exams. Thank you.